Welcome, welcome. I'm just going to chat here for a minute while we wait for people to get on here. Tell me where you're from. Let's see who is here today and where we've got people from. That will be fun to know. So just type in the chat who you are and where you're from so we can welcome you. So I'm hoping today that I'm going to be able to baste and start quilting this quilt. I was hoping to get that done sooner than later, but today looks like it's going to be a good day to be doing that. So I'm going to get it sandwiched and basted anyway, and then hopefully start getting it quilted. So, all right, we've got a few people here. Like I said, introduce yourself. We'd like to know who everybody is, where you're from. Okay. I'm going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get here. Sometimes it's hard to get going in the morning. I am a morning person. It's not hard for me, but I know some of my children really struggle with that. So, in fact, I have my daughter in high school. Oh my heck. I just had to like roll my eyes and look the other way or I would have gone insane. But she was the ride for her friend. And when she saw her friend come out of her house, she could see from her bedroom window. That's when she got out of bed and started getting ready. Oh, she can do it. She can get ready in like 5 minutes, but oh, it would drive me crazy. Oh, we have Nancy from Moses Lake, Washington. That's great. My son lives in Washington. I don't know where. He's in Bremerton at the naval base there. I don't know where that is in relationship to Moses Lake, but my oldest son is in Washington. So, welcome, Nancy. Anyone else want to chime in who you are and where you're from? So, today will probably be a little quicker, not as long of a class. Well, it will depend on what questions in it, what everybody has, but the content just goes quickly. There's more to do in the homework as you will be starting to cut out your quilt. But oh, hey, Alicia, welcome back from Colorado. So there's just not as much for me to tell you. I will give you the instructions on how to figure out what you will be cutting out. We'll only be cutting out the big pieces. Tomorrow we'll discuss about what the smaller pieces. Rose, we are neighbors. Did you know that? I'm in Centerville, Utah. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. So cool. Oh, Alicia, great. I'm glad you had fun drawing lots of quilts yesterday. I'm glad you found that enjoyable. Oh, great. I have good things coming up, so maybe you will find what I have coming up enjoyable also. Thanks, Alicia. I would love to see some of those. If you want to share them on the Facebook group, I think it's called Aunt M's Scrap Bag. I would love to see some of what you came up with. That would be great, Alicia. So, great. So, Rose, I just live above Jenny P. Elementary. So, I don't know where you are in Centerville, but we are neighbors. That's great. So, all right, let's get started here. Got to put my glasses down. So, if you're new here, if you haven't been here the other days, you can watch the repeat. These glasses are crooked. That's what you get from $1. Anyway. That's funny. Sorry, little tangent there. Oh, you live on the dry side of Washington, Nancy. All right. Yep, it is wet where he's at. But anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so if you're new here and you haven't got your workbook, you can follow the link. You can follow the link and get the workbook. I always put them in the description after the video, so you can follow that, so you can use the workbook to follow along. Oh, cool, Rose. I'm trying to think. So I probably no, I don't think I go. On my morning walks, I may walk by your house. I go clear to Parish, Rose, so I don't know what North Parish is, though. So anyway, Manchester, UK, Lau, welcome, welcome. So anyway, get the workbook if you haven't got it. Sorry, I'm just reading your comments and interjecting. I want to interact with you, and because there's a delay, sometimes that may be interrupting a little bit. So I apologize if that's driving you crazy. But you can join my husband and just put up with my crazy. Sorry. Anyway, so Alicia drew up some designs. Did everybody else draw up some designs? Do you have kind of a idea of where your quilt's going? What kind of designs did you put in? What elements did you include? I'd love to hear about that. So if you want to add that. Oh, we have Ellen from Pennsylvania. Great, great. So let's hear about your quilt designs. And today we're going to start bringing those designs that we drew up, and we're going to start bringing them to fruition. So we'll start getting our quilt ready to be put together. So we're going to be cutting out. So in your quilt, you're going to have, for your star points, they're just half square triangles. There's 24 of them, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do that. So let me figure out this real quick. I'm going to do the video for the one, because like I said, I couldn't figure out how to do it live. So, hey Lynn from Montana, you have a heart in the middle of yours and some pinwheels. Oh, great, great. Okay, so I'm going to turn on, now you'll see this for a minute, but we're going to go here. Okay, sorry, you get all my tech stuff for just a minute here while I get this going. We're going to go through our scraps. We're going to find, you want something that's at least 6.5 inches wide, okay? So I can get 1 square out of this because it is 6.5 inches wide. So I'm just gonna cut me a 6.5 inch square, provided I can find my rotary cutter. So we're gonna cut us a 6.5 inch square. Total of squares, like in the quilt that I've shown, I have 45 that are solid. But what decided how many solid I had was my scrap bin. Just as I'm cutting through the fabric, I'm just saying, how many can I get? So that's what determined it. And then I just went smaller as my pieces got smaller. But if you're following the example or you want it to look similar to the one that I've done, it has 45. So I'm just going to, once again, measure my 6.5. And I'm going to make sure that I have, from each of my medium, light, and dark, that I have some of each of them. Okay. You can see these were scraps. Other things have been taken out of them. Okay. And I'm just going to keep cutting 6.5 inch squares. In addition to your 6.5 inch squares, while you have these strips, if you have a longer strip, you can use the Nifty Notions or Essential Triangle ruler or Flying Geese ruler, whatever you have, and you can just line that up to cut your half square triangles. I like to do it just out of strips because I can just have one size strip and I can cut what I need. So I will do two, if my strip is longer like this one is, I'm going to do two of these. One this way and one this way. So that, and I will need 24 green and 24 background of these. And we'll just keep going along here, cutting our squares. So that is how I cut my half square triangles. I just use the ruler. That's my preferred method, just because, like I said in the video, I can do the half square triangles and the squares all from one strip, and I don't have to do different cuttings to get the various shapes. So that's why I like that method. And so you'll need a total of 24 half square triangles. So if, oh, it's hidden under here. So the other method, if you don't have a flying geese ruler or the essential triangle ruler or the nifty notions like I showed in the video, and I know we have lots of rulers, and if you don't have this one, it's okay if you don't want to add more clutter to your sewing room and get another ruler. So here is another method. Isn't it great that there's tons of methods to learn how to do or to accomplish the same task? So in this method, we are going to take two squares. If you're deciding to scale your star to a different size, use your workbook and it will give you what sizes you need. For the one that I made that's a throw size, it's a 72-inch square. They are finished at 6 inches. So like a 6.5-inch strip like I just cut in the video. Or if you're using this method with the two squares, you just add, technically you can just add 7/8 inch. I'm not really accurate with this method, so I always add 1 inch, plus it's just easier for me to remember that you just add 1 inch, and then I can just square it up at the end. So these would be 7-inch squares, and we're just going to put them right sides together. We're going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner diagonally through. All right, and then to help with accuracy, but like I said, I'm not accurate, and it may be because I don't always do this little step, but you can pin on either side so things don't move around, and then you'll have your diagonal line through here, and then here's my diagonal line. And you're going to sew a 1/4 inch on either side of your line. Then as you open it up, you'll get this half square triangle. All right. So, and that will give you 2 half square triangles. So you will want 12 of background squares and 12 of your print squares to get enough half square triangles for the star points in this project. Okay, so since you've drawn up your plan, let's figure out how many half square triangles you need, because that doesn't change. But in your plan, you have piece things going on in there. So you will go to your quilt design plan. Mine's kind of wrinkly. I should have been more careful when I was pulling those off yesterday. I'm cutting my head off. Let me see if I can adjust this. Okay. So we're going to go to our plan, and anywhere we see a full square, we're going to count that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're just going to go through and count up all of the squares that we have that don't have anything pieced in them. And that's how you will figure out how many squares you need. In the example, in the one that I made for my son's wedding quilt, there are 45 solid squares, and then I have 15 pieced. So that is how you will figure out how many squares that you need. And you'll just cut those from your scraps in the fabric pole that you chose from our first day. So that is kind of what you need to do there. Does anybody have questions? Can I help with anything? Do you questions on how to do the half square triangles? Questions on figuring out how many squares you need? Just let me know, and I can answer those questions now. But like I said, today was going to be a kind of a short lesson. So I will wait a moment to see if there's any questions. If you'd like, I can go through one of the other designs that we went through and kind of show how you figure that out. Tomorrow we will go through those designs so that we can discuss the smaller units and how to make those smaller units. So I'm just going to give you a minute. The first day I kind of went off and somebody made a comment right after I ended, so I kind of felt bad about that. So I want to make sure that if you have any questions or need help in any way, that I am here to answer those for you. So oh, I forgot to mention, so while you're cutting out your half square triangles and the number of squares that you'll need from the prints, you're going to need 60 squares of your background. So I didn't piece any of those. You're more than welcome to piece them if you want to. But if you're not piecing anything and you just are doing the background, you'll need 60. I forgot to bring my drink down here. Sorry about that. Okay, Addie, let's see. So the first set of half square triangles that you made, 12 or 24, those are, so total, so you need, the half square triangles that I just did with the strips, you're going to need 24 of the print and 24 of the background, just because you're cutting that with the flying geese ruler. But when you use the square method, you get 2 from each square. So you only need 12 of the squares, 12 background squares and 12 print squares, because when you cut them, you'll end up with the 24 half square triangles. So does that make sense? Let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks, Addie. That was a good question. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. Have fun cutting out. Don't feel like you have to. This content will be here for a little while, at least for 2 or 3 weeks. So you can come back and refer to it. And I'm trying to get these videos edited, and then I will put them in the content on Kajabi, where you have signed up for the course, so that you can refer to it later. But as free content on my YouTube channel, this will only be here for a little while. So, so Nancy asked, using dark or medium for the half square triangles. If you want high contrast and to let those points stand out, you're going to want a darker fabric. So you like a medium dark or dark, because if you go lighter, the points don't show up as much. So that's what you do there. Yeah, Marilyn, the pattern with the star and the star and the star, the echoing one, that will require a lot of half square triangles, but it's doable. And they go fairly quickly, no matter what method you use. So, you can have fun with that. Enjoy that. So you decide what you want to do following your plan and enjoy that. And like I said, excuse me, if you want your points to stand out more, do use a medium dark to darker rather than a medium light, just because especially if your background is light, just have a contrast with your background so the star points show up, whatever your background is. Yeah, the half square triangles are in for the star points. So like each star point has 3 half square triangles along here. So there's a total of 24 as we go around for all 8 points. Okay, does that make sense, Addie? So, all right. Well, thanks for joining me. Always, you can email me if you have questions. You can put comments here. I do check them. Sometimes I don't always get the comments here like I'm supposed to be notified, but I've noticed sometimes in the past that I've missed some. So it's best to email me or just message me through social media anyway. I will always check those also, and I try to get back within 24 hours. So it won't be a long wait. Okay, I think everybody's got it now. And like I said, if you do have questions while you're cutting out or anything, just email me or message me and I will be happy to answer those.